Naruto 597 early release. I guess it came out very late Saturday night. I found out about it very early Sunday morning, and then it took me a little while to process the chapter. Um, a lot of the pages, or the majority of it, is actually, and it's entitled "The Secret of Space-Time Ninjutsu." So the majority of this chapter is just that. Okay. Um, the rest of it is getting to the connection between Kakashi and Toby. And from what the dialogue says, okay, when did you get your, he's Toby, when did you get when did you get that eye? And he's, oh, it was during the past World War, the fight at the Kanabi Bridge, and of course anybody that's with the Obito theory is now, feeling pretty good about it. I still don't think it's Obito. I really don't. I really don't. But it's the it sounds like it's the eye. I mean, they're connected, and it's the same place. He also says something else about him talking. I think what happened is he knew whoever Toby is knew from the story of what happened from Kakashi, telling everybody, about what happened, where to go to get the eye. So, I mean, if there's, and I'm assuming that it didn't take that long for this person to go do that. Now, of course, is the Obito theory completely gone? No, of course not, because we still don't know who Zetsu is or what. Well, we know, we have an idea. It's from something created from the DNA of the first Hokage, or a creation of the first Hokage. That much we understand, but we don't really know a lot about him. So there was actually a video I made a very long time ago, which I've said, which was basically there was some part of, well, it's basically, and a lot of other people had similar, there's something that was left of the first Hokage, some part, some mixture, and it found Obito and kind of merged with him, and then they went on to be Toby. But the problem with that is there's a connection. Madara knew Toby. Okay, so let's make sure that some of the timeline here works out. I'm not going to go that in depth in it, just a few basic facts. So Madara knew Toby. Okay, so that timeline pushes it way back. Now, I don't see how, but the only connection you could say is that he knew Zetsu. Okay, and that Zetsu found the eye. In which case, if it's just the eye, I mean, that's the real crux of the whole thing here. Is it just the eye, or is it Obito? I don't think it's Obito. Now, of course, Kishimoto, maybe a few other people know, but I really don't think that's who it is. But this chapter, and I really kind of think this is a teaser chapter. I think it was, not going to say we'll find out for sure, but I still don't believe it was. But we also know from this, from the dialogue between, it's pretty intense between Kakashi and Toby, and Toby's really going right at Kakashi about his regrets, and and Toby really lays out more of, how he basically wants to enslave the world, so that, which has all been, explained before, basically, and he, I'm sure, doesn't see himself as a bad person. He thinks he's doing, these bad things to save, people that are just basically destroying themselves, which is partially true. But his solution, putting everybody in a giant cage, it really isn't, but it also, it's kind of pertinent to, things that are going actually on in the real world, and how much freedom do you give people, and can they be free? I mean, there's a lot to this. There's a whole lot. I want to build a world where heroes don't have to make pitiful excuses in front of graves. I mean, he keeps hitting on the Obito thing, but is it Is it Obito's father? Who is Obito's father? I mean, it sounds a lot like the father of Obito. It sounds like this is where the pain and anger is coming from. And another thing about the Obito theory, and this is the part of the theory that really got to me, is the personality of Obito is just absolutely opposite, completely different than Toby. And now it's still possible that some, of course, some small part of Obito is, mixed in with, but even as just the Zetsus, the white and the dark, don't seem to be as, Toby is something different than Zetsu. I mean, part Zetsu maybe, but it's something different. I don't think that personality is a mixture. So I've kind of changed my opinion on that. But anyway, it's here's the deal. There's a two-part thing. There's something I want to get to at the front of this. The majority of this chapter is explaining the time-space jujitsu. Now, I would prefer to less, okay, and I think a lot of people would prefer less. But I want everybody to think about this for a moment. One of the big things that happens in Naruto that Kishimoto has done is inventing or reinventing a lot of these different techniques. I mean, it's huge. All these different characters and have all these different abilities and these combinations of different abilities. Kishimoto's had to really think about this. Now I realize there's an entire manga world out there with different stuff, but he has recombined a lot of things. I mean, it's really interesting. Now he gets some criticism, of course, on his plot lines, and there's a lot of things, but he's really created a lot of interesting, say, abilities. So if Kishimoto, so it's understandable why he would want to go and explain, because you can tell he really gets into it, and it makes it better. So that's it's like this in Shishu. When we ever heard the explanation in Eye of the Crow, it was so intricate. I mean, you're like, wow. I mean, we as fans, and most of us anyway, really don't want that to have to go that many levels, to understand something. But anyway, that's just part of it. We get usually we enjoy the amount of variety that he has with the powers and the different combinations, and all that stuff. And unfortunately, when somebody spends that much time, every once in a while we're going to have to listen to him, maybe go a little more in depth. But anyway, speaking of going into in depth, I think I've about reached the end of this. It was an early chapter. It's right on the edge. I mean, you can, and I don't mind Kishimoto stretching this out on who is Toby, because once it is revealed, this time that all Naruto fans are having now of throwing all these theories and different twists and combining different theories and all that, that phase is gone. It's over, and that's history, and nobody's gonna, it's done. We have to move forward, and then the series, it looks like, is of course it's heading toward an end, or transforming into something else. And speaking on that, maybe there may actually be like a prequel. It seems like some more information. We're talking a lot about the Sage of the Sixth Pass, and evidently there was an entire, pantheon of these guys. If you want to put them as gods or whatever, that were with him. And maybe there will be a series where we go back and find out a lot more about what happened with them. That would be pretty interesting, or something. But anyway, there's a tremendous amount of possibilities. My question for everybody, of course, is how are you feeling after 597? How do you feel about the theory that you like the most? And a lot of us, as we explained, it was pretty good last time we had the conversation, is most people have maybe their number one theory that they feel like at the time. I'm still sticking with Kagame. It would really be, well, anyway, it would be interesting if he ends up being Obito's father. If somehow that works. He might be too old, but anyway, it would be interesting if interesting if you would put out, how 597. Do you think now If you didn't think it was Obito, do you think it's Obito now? Did it change what you thought? Do you still feel confident in your choice? A lot of people said Izuna. Are you still feeling confident about that it's Izuna? I'm sticking with Kagami, but we'll see. You know, I respect everyone's opinion, as long as it's not the ramen guy. But anyway, so that's going to be it. This video is kind of run a little long, but it's an exciting chapter. It's early. You know, this is awesome. Well, anyway, there's more I could talk about, but we've already been on here for a while. Once again, I really appreciate all my subscribers. I appreciate all my people that leave comments. If you would, thumbs up. That would be very nice if you would do that. A little positive energy. That'd be pretty cool. If you want to subscribe, you can always subscribe. Unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time, take care.